The town that speaks echoes from another dimension. After the mysterious disappearance in 1985, Hollow Creek became infamous. Tourists visited, hoping to experience the paranormal for themselves. Locals grew tired of the questions but secretly feared the next cycle. Dr. Eliza Monroe refused to give up her research, despite the ban. She moved to Hollow Creek, determined to observe the anomaly firsthand. Years passed without incident, and she began to doubt her own theories. But then, subtle changes began to occur throughout the town. Whispers echoed in empty streets, voices no one could identify. They were faint at first, like a breeze carrying distant conversations. But as the days passed, the voices grew clearer and more unsettling. Residents reported hearing their own voices, repeating past conversations. Words Cindy spoken years ago echoed back to them perfectly. It was as if time itself was replaying moments from their lives. A local shopkeeper, Mrs. Evans, heard her late husband's voice. He called her by an old nickname, one only he ever used. Terrified, she searched her house but found no one there. Other townspeople heard voices of loved ones who had passed away. Even Beth reacted, barking at empty corners or whimpering in fear. Dr. Monroe recorded the phenomenon, analyzing the audio frequencies. She discovered the voices were not just echoes, they were distortions. Fragments of sound stretched and warped, like a broken record. It was as if time itself was unraveling, replaying moments out of order. She compared the recordings to the whispers she heard years ago. Patterns matched exactly, confirming her worst fears. The town wasn't just disappearing, it was shifting between dimensions. A place where time and space overlapped, creating echoes from other realities. Dr. Monroe theorized that Hollow Creek was caught in a temporal loop. Each cycle left behind fragments of the past, replaying like echoes. She warned the town that the voices would grow louder as the next cycle approached. But people were skeptical, too afraid to believe her warnings. As the anniversary of the last disappearance drew closer, the voices intensified. They no longer echoed the past but began predicting the future. Residents heard warnings of accidents that hadn't happened yet. One man heard his own voice calling for help moments before a fall. A child heard her mother scream just before a car crashed outside. These premonitions were terrifyingly accurate, saving lives but causing panic. Fear spread through Hollow Creek as people questioned their own realities. Were they hearing echoes of possible futures, or were they trapped in a loop? Dr. Monroe feared that time was collapsing, merging past, present, and future. She believed the temporal void was expanding, consuming everything in its path. On the eve of the anniversary, she set up her equipment one last time. She recorded the voices, hoping to communicate with them directly. Through the static, a single voice emerged, clear and familiar. It was her own, warning herself to leave before it was too late. Panicked, she tried to escape, but the town's roads twisted endlessly. No matter which way she turned, she always ended up back in the center. It was as if the town itself was alive, trapping her within its boundaries. Her last recording ended abruptly with a scream, then silence. The next morning, Dr. Monroe was gone, vanished without a trace. Her equipment was found neatly arranged, untouched by time. Locals searched for her, but no one could find any sign of her presence. Her notes revealed her final theory: the town was feeding on time itself. It absorbed memories, voices, and lives, sustaining its existence. Hollow Creek remained, but it felt different, emptier, quieter. The whispers stopped, but people still felt watched, haunted by unseen eyes. Many left, unable to bear the eerie stillness that followed. Those who remained avoided the streets at night, fearing echoes of their own voices. The town was due for another cycle, and no one knew who would disappear next. Dr. Monroe's warnings were remembered, but it was too late. The town had already claimed her, just as it had claimed others before. In 2085, Hollow Creek will face the cycle again. Will it finally break free from the loop, or will it vanish forever? Do you think the town is trapped in a time loop or connected to another dimension? Subscribe for more stories that challenge reality.